Welcome, Jordan here. Your body knows what is right for you. That felt sense that always gives you the signal. And even if it is quiet and even if it is hard to hear, it's there. You may have experienced in your life the direct experience of being in a situation that did not serve you or something that you didn't enjoy, right? That would be the level of reality where you are experiencing something that you don't like. Now, because of that experience, your mind will then start to process, hey, this is not something that I want. But if you were to go a layer deeper into the body likely told you already that that was not aligned for you, but you didn't listen to the signal. The more disconnected you are from your body, the more you miss the clear signal that is coming through to give you the best path for you specifically. Not for me, not for anybody else, but for you. When we are disconnected from our body, we are in our head. When we are in our head, we are easy to control and distract because the mind is so malleable and it's hooked by dopamine. It's hooked by things that get our attention, by people's opinions, by anything else in the outside world that is here to pull your attention away from your truth and your center. When I think about the body and the mind, I think about these two characters. Like the body, if it was a character, would be walking slowly. It would be taking its time. It would be taking all of the scenery in. It would be this wise old being who just understands and knows, just knows stuff. But then the mind is like this child that is running forward and running over here and running over there and is distracted. Not wrong, not something to look at with judgment, but just to notice. It's like when the mind runs forward, the body's kind of like, hey, slow down. You're not even going the right way. Come back, slow down, and listen. Let's move in this direction. And I believe that we all have that sense, we all have that feeling. It's just that we've lived in a world for so long that has not taught you to honor that, or has not given you the tools to be able to do it, or in essence, really just has created so many distractions and so many things to pull you out of your body that you don't hear the voice anymore. You don't feel the sense, right? Because when we're in our heads, we're stuck in distraction. But what also is distraction is addiction, right? Social media, phones, alcohol, pornography, all of these things give us a relief from uncertainty, a relief from a feeling that our body is feeling. But that feeling that our body is having when we reach for those things is something to be with, to be present with, because it loosens its grips when we sit with the emotion. When we get quiet enough and we feel through things, we hear the clear signal coming through. I've noticed this in my life time and time again. Anytime I get caught up in urgency and I'm pulled forward and I'm out there and I'm almost so ahead of myself that my body's trying to catch up and say, dude, you gotta slow down. You're moving way too fast and you're not even going in the right direction. Whenever I'm driven by a sense of urgency or fear, it's because I'm not sitting with the fear. I'm not sitting with the urgency. I'm not letting that dissolve. I'm letting it drive me forward. So I end up doing a lot of different things and I'm putting in a lot of effort or I'm spinning my wheels, but nothing really happens. But then when I'm calm, when I'm regulated, when I follow my daily principles of meditation and breath work and being very intentional about what I do and when I do it and why I do it, that serves me massively. It slows everything down because life is not a sprint, it's not a race, it's a journey and we're walking through it. What's the rush? What is the rush? Yes, someday we will not be alive. But does that mean that every second we must rush to achieve something? But why do we want to achieve something? Well, we want to achieve something to feel something. Well, the feeling is right here in this moment. Let's feel that first. And then allow that to guide us towards what we want. It's like My belief and my understanding of how things have played out in my life is that when I want something, when I have a desire for something, that thing wants me just as much as I want it. And the more I've settled into listening to my body, the more I feel this sense of inevitability. It's inevitable that that is mine. Otherwise, I wouldn't want it. So, therefore, what's the rush to get it? Why do I need to rush? Why do I need to live in urgency and fear in case I don't have it? Well, that would be against this feeling of inevitability. But that took a long time because I had to remove all of the different layers that was blocking that signal from coming through because I was in my head, living in my head, disconnected from my body. When I have tuned into a felt sense, and hey, I don't get this perfect every time, but when I do, I feel like the next step for me is obvious. And you know what? It's always simple. It's always like this and this and this. Three things. Whether it's a business related decision, a structural decision, a life decision, a travel decision, it's usually simple because I don't believe that life is complex. But our mind makes it complex because we have so many distractions and programs and things running that aren't even ours. When we tune back into our body and we listen to that and we get quiet enough through a practice or through just slowing down, we allow that pure signal to come through. And then that becomes what is true for us, not the truth, not my truth, what is true for you. That's what you want to be listening to because that's the thing that will guide you in the next direction. And then it's having the courage to trust that. This is the next part of this, which is the courage. It's not going to make sense a lot of the time when you feel that. It's not going to make sense because your mind hasn't caught up yet. This is the thing. Your mind hasn't caught up to that felt sense. And especially if you've been living from the mind, that there's going to be a sense of distrust to the feeling. But the feeling will bring you closer to what you truly want. And that path may not be clear at all in any way. Usually it never is. But it takes courage to trust that. It's like jumping into the deep end and understanding that you're going to survive. You're going to be able to swim, even if you've never done it before. That felt sense allows you to trust life in a deeper way. In those moments, you dissolve fear. And you know what starts to happen? You start to see, what else can I do? What else have I been avoiding? And then that becomes in itself this kind of momentum that you're in. And then it's about coming back to that feeling, that trust. I believe that this is the key to many, many things in our life. If you're to ask yourself, like, what is the best decision for you and whatever it is that you're thinking about right now, or you're trying to decide on something, or maybe even you're trying to solve a problem, what if you got quiet enough and still enough and then ask yourself what the obvious solution is for you? What's the open door that you're not seeing? And just listen and see what comes up. And it may take some time because if you haven't been tuning into your body for a long time, it may take some time for sure. It took me a long time. But as you tune into that more and more, you'll start to hear the thing is that is most obvious. And sometimes it won't make sense at all. Oftentimes it won't. But can you trust it? And the mind doesn't have to understand it. Because if we bring ourselves back to that idea of the mind being a child and the body being this kind of wise elder, the child is there and it's confused because it doesn't like uncertainty and it wants to solve the problem now to feel better. But what if you were able to comfort the mind in those moments, letting it know that it doesn't need to understand every single piece, but you're here to lead it. You're here to lead it forward into a new way, and you're learning to trust now. What if that was the invitation? So, what if the best business decision for you came from you trusting yourself deeper? What if the next best move for you to make was about listening to that signal that's been trying to get your attention for a long time and to let go of what everybody else thinks that you should do and for you to trust yourself enough to listen to the signal? Let's call it there for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.